haven't crashed in the first second. Already promising. Here, astronomers turned the vast steel telescope to the heavens and report on the movements of the stars. London is keenly invested in their findings. So, what actually I gain by doing that? Okay. Maybe if I just get out of this place, everything going to be okay? Just need to quickly get one thing. To even read that because we might just crash in a sec. Okay, let's go the fuck out of here. let's hurry up to Mausoleum. Do I even need to come back to this place, to the wreck of boatmen? Would have been nice if it concluded on a choice rather than just, you know, transporting humans and undead to two different places and that's it. Crashed 3 times in that place. I wonder why. What? Absent without leave. Her lavish apartment is as you last saw it, covered with the anti-Macassar's eyebrow-raising novels and her inexplicable collection of porcelain cats. It is, however, absent your aunt. A cautious search of her chambers uncovers a postcard for Walbury Juxtamare, perched cheerily upon the writing desk. Terribly stuffy in here, gone to the seaside. Much love, auntie. Sure. Attending a funeral. Few mourners are willing to brave the long journey through the reach to say goodbye to a loved one. Visitors are welcome to the extra chairs in Mausoleum's many chapels, provided they carry themselves appropriately. It is a calming way to spend a few hours basking in lives well lived or taking solace in still having a future. Skyfarer funeral, why? Sure, terrorful and cool. Drop off the crew of the boatman. The captain fiddles with her cuffs links as she accompanies you to the office of the Necropolis line. Her crew have carried away. You don't have to come in, she says, not looking at you, but the manager's not going to be pleased if you put in a good word. She trails off. You have arrived to the unobstructive black painted door of the office. The knocker bears a grinning silver skull. Inside the office is a funerary, draped in indigo and accented with fussy silver fixtures. The line manager looks up from his desk and glowers at the captain. Where the bloody hell have you been? Denounce her. The line manager fumes. The captain makes a mess of her story. The line manager doesn't credit a word of it, but is more than happy to believe the worst of his employees. You are seen out, but not without a hefty purse for the line manager, from the line manager, for your discretion. 550 for nothing, for just basically doing absolutely nothing. Cool. Not going to contemplate on the sun because it's just going to up my terror. Approach deathless. We got. Consult the engraved mourner, a man of alabaster and marble, cold and aged as an antique statue. Might he have an interest in the clay choirs? Courtier, the engraved mourner consents to a meeting in his many pillared chambers. He sits on the couches of blue stone and drink wine in ivory cups. The conductor hunches, his form far heavier than the furniture can support, while the mourner reclines elegantly upon his divan. Divan. What the fuck this word doing here?
Divan.
Really? You what? It's Russian. It's really awkward. While the mourner reclines elegantly upon his divan. After polite introductions, the conductor demands, "Why do you look different?" The mourner smiles. "I was built for a purpose, to guide, to shepherd, to travel. It was deemed I should be pleasing to the eye and ear. Now you wanted to hear me sing." His singing is somber and cold and sad. The clay conductor shakes his head. "No good, too much like the sky. You make your excuses." Entertain a request from macabre counselor. The cheery register gives you a note and worried smile. The macabre counselor has requested your attendance, an honor rarely granted the legally living. Into the dark, several footmen are on hand to escort you from the nave and through the oak-paneled doors that lead down into the catacombs of silence where the macabre counselor resides. Black candles burn in silver candelabras, fading tapestries smolder on the walls. In glass cabinets, bones of saints and sinners are displayed with gloomy relish. The macabre counselor is in a maudlin mood, regaling you with stories of her youth and musing wistfully on past regrets. "I have only one worth mentioning, my daughter. The Empress saw fit to take her form from me, and as a punishment, I suppose she could be terribly petty, could risky." She examines you speculatively. "I wish to have my daughter return to me, fulfill this commission, and I shall bequeath upon you a great reward. Accept her commission. You are partial to a good reward. It occasionally gets you into trouble." A courtly hostage. She is a hostage to perdurance, kept to ensure my discretion. She hands you several charcoal sketches of her daughter, a pretty presumptuous heiress with dark eyes and curly lock of her brown hair. I have an agent in place to assist and to conceal my daughter's escape. You will need invitations to access the half-light mask to effect rescue. I only have 3 to hand. It is likely you will need to secure more. Your mind returns to her use of the word hostage. An odd choice. Perdurance is said to be a place of endless delights, where the children of society's elite dally in luxury. Surely shouldn't be too much trouble to rescue one spoiled, presumptuous heiress from the lap of opulence, even if it is, as it were, the Empress's lap. Speak with the dismal chamberlain. The chamberlain presides over the affairs of the mausoleum. He has seniority of the sepulchre and rarely meets his visitors. The dismal chamberlain. Your attempts to meet with the chamberlain are met with relentless obfuscation. His secretary reschedules the meeting 8 times, eventually arranging it for 6 days ago. You even try waiting all day outside the chamberlain's office, but he does not appear. His duties include regulation of time in mausoleum, where the deathless wallow in generous pensions of hours. However, the clocks are not keeping the same time. Has something happened? Finally, you manage to corner the engraved mourner and press him for answers. The chamberlain is no longer in residence, he replies curtly. We don't dwell on the matter. We suggest you follow suit. Yeah, fucking honey. Ah, cool. Doesn't go well, we still can. Well, it didn't crash again. Seasoned smuggler, you have carried contraband from one corner of the sky to the other. You are the bane of the revenue man. Sure. What else? You've carried starlight and forbidden books and honey that opens the heart like a key in a lock. When a novice of the Skyroads asked you what virtue a smuggler needs, what did you answer? Boldness or caution? Caution. Be watchful, be judicious, dump contraband rather than risk capture. The most successful smuggler is the one nobody has heard of. Let's get the fuck out of here. they even sell fuel at Horizon? Nope, they don't, so I actually should go back to Mausoleum. Here's a ruin that predates London. Its stones now bleached by the radiance of the clockwork sun. Excavation. Decipher ancient inscriptions. Trade visions of heavens for a moment of inspiration and some experience. And what's that? This ruin seems more intact than some. If you have the workers and equipment, you could risk digging deeper in it to see what treasures they hold. Can I just drop terror instead? What if I leave this place? Yeah, that's lame. It's like -5, maybe even less. Why the sound of the message, of the log message, so low, or being so low? Again. Warn the fucking dead. How's this? Well, came back with the same error as I left. Well, I can do that for like 40 times. I'll drop it to 10, then I'll calm down. I would appreciate this game much more if I weren't in constant thought about being in the fucking crash. Always thinking how fast I should get to the second port, so I would save. Is this a graveyard? Seems like it. out of here. Ruins. Guess let's check out what's inside. Cache of souls. What a fucking ugh. After a day of hard labor, your diggers break into a sealed vault. It holds a wealth of glass vessels, each containing a soul. They are clearly inhuman, many limbed and protean, but not of noticeably superior quality to that of a chimney sweep or a poet. You order them aboard. What a waste of supplies. Oh, look. Damn, supplies again? Fuck. Successful substantially reduce your terror. And I don't have much supplies. Well, let's try that. Ooh. It's been 19% at least. The fluke thrashes and ululates, fighting its end desperately, as if more than its own life depended on it. Your prize, a piece you rip from the eyelid, is taller than you are. It will make an awe-inspiring banner. A stalker fusses over where to hang it. Too close to the fires and it will become desiccated and frail. Anywhere else and it will impede movement. You leave its final placement for the crew. A captain shouldn't get drawn into the niceties. Okay, ruins again. Oh, that was a fucking terrible. And I don't have much more supplies. I guess I'm getting moment of inspiration. Conjunctions. The inscriptions are written in the language of the suns. You cipher what you can. Already done that. What's that? Seems like a station of some sort. A stair zigzags down to the sea where a flotilla of old ships lie moldering. The stair to the sea. A narrow ledge is lodged into the ice here. A stair thin as a shaft of starlight plunges into the mist below. This is the stairway down to the flotilla, a makeshift raft of broken and abandoned ships, home to the similarly broken and abandoned. All came through the avid horizon but were forbidden for legal reasons from entering Albion. The nearby home office keeps them contained here. Left thus to their own devices, they have formed cults. Descend the stair, board the flotilla. It's considered polite to bring an offering. Food or fuel is preferable, but anything that can be eaten or burned for warmth would suffice. Down to Sunless Sea, the winds rattle the iron railings as though trying to throw you from the stair into the churning sea hundreds of feet below. You cleave hard to the block of ice. It's chill on your cheek as you make the slow descent. Your fingers are thoroughly frozen by the time you reach the bottom and stand on the rusted iron platform that marks the beginning of the flotilla. The sea all around is shrouded in rolling mist. You can make out boats nearby, bobbing forlornly in the racing water. Some are roped together, others set apart. Lights speckle the water. Cultists still dwell in at least some of the old steamships. This platform is deathly silent, however. No one is here to greet you. Search for the displeased. The parson asks you to meet with them, to encourage them to join him at Worldbury. On a sunless sea, there is nothing here save for the cold and the wind tracing fingers down your spine. No one is nearby. If you are going to talk to the displeased, you'll need to go further. You'll need to find the acolytes here and gain their favor before you'll be able to persuade them to travel. If you have not yet encountered the acolytes who reside here, leave an offering to convince them of your piety. You'll need to be embraced by the displeased before you can speak of the subject. Sit in contemplation. There's little else to do here. Why are you here? At the edge of the horizon, on an old but empty flotilla, far from the place where you were born, no way back. If you even wanted to return. How many waited for the gate to open? How many came through, unable to go further, unable to return? Where are they now? Are there any still here? You would need to fly to the gate itself to find out. The water burbles, you see your face emerge in the sea below, visible through the mist. Leave an offering. The sea is peopled with the forgotten and abandoned. It is customary to leave an offering to the flotilla for help, for hope, for home. Perhaps someone will come to collect it. At the height of its powers, the Home Office preceded tens of thousands of petitioners seeking entry to Albion. Some were rejected or left to seek appeals for help from Albion, caught in a limbo between office and the gate. Here, at the edge of the horizon, in the shadow of the winged statues, detainees leave offerings, prayers, and messages to the world left behind, supplications to the cultists that dwell on the quiet sea. What will you leave behind? I leave myself. A body. It doesn't even tell me that it needs fuel or supplies. Well, it's going to be like how much it's going to take. One. Your stalkers glare mutiny, but they comply. Coke is brought from coke boilers, ground and sprinkled into the water. It sifts through your fingers like grains of falling sand. There is no land here and no light. Voice in the mist. A figure in a hooded cloak steps out of the mists. Your sacrifice was most perspicient. The man lowers his hood to reveal a scarred and ruddy face. His eyes twinkle like falling suns. We've been watching from the flotilla. We'll all agree your offering was worthy to seek the names of the saints with us. If you wanted to learn the truth of the gate, that is. He produces a battered flask from his cloak. I have taken the liberty of bringing the unguent, should you wish to join us. Except be anointed in the cult of the sanctified. The ritual, and I anoint your head with chrism and press my tongue onto your lips, for you are hungry for sacral sacral flesh. You briefly taste that skin and salt. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was made writing. The Lord said, "Go forth and multiply." Science flourishes in silence, but is washed away by the multiplication of words. Open wider, please. Parchment is stuffed into your mouth. The jolly anchorite beams. Not too hard, was it? You have learned the first name and met our saints of inks. Our brethren are just this way. Speak with the silent mystic. Her will is accessible by a flimsy rope ladder rising up through the mist. She is rarely disturbed by the other acolytes, though they watch her intently. The woman lies on on the wheel, her eyes on the looming shadows of the gate. She does not bother to look your way as you reach the top of the ladder. Rotting fruits, dried flowers, and tarnished nameplates lie ignored in the edge of the wheel. Attempt to speak to her, lose your mind, join the cult. She rolls back her head to gaze at you, her mouth twitches downward. A hand lolls listlessly in your direction. I do not sense the hunger of the true ascetic in you. Wear the name, the knife, wear the book. Begone and waste not my time. Her eyes roll back. Return when you have learned something. If one of the cults claims you as their own full initiate, then I might be interested in speaking to you. Where will you lay your head at night? Every acolyte has a favored spot in the flotilla to take their keep. The politics of one's sleeping arrangements are complicated here. Your choices here will affect the dispositions of the cults toward you. Favor with a cult can generate rewards or occasionally open options while pursuing their other objectives. Speak with the jolly anchorite. The jolly anchorite has made his home in a huge shell dredged from the depths of the sea. He roars as you approach. Come to receive more learning. If you wish to know my mysteries, you must learn the names of the saints. As you progress in your rituals, the names shall be revealed to you. He claps you heartily on the back. Very few know all the names. I myself have lost some of them. Whatever. Because you were selected by one of the leaders of the mystics to uncover their sacred mysteries, you may sleep where you like. Everyone is eager to see what you choose. There isn't much to do here. A cozy berth near an open hearth. A crow's nest. Whatever others are doing. Wine and candles shared warmth and traded stories. You are strengthened by community. A lonely air far above the mist, you are strengthened by solitude. After a brief moment of awkwardness, when one of the displeased climbs into the nest, sees you, and then immediately descends into the mists again. You spend a chilly and undisturbed evening alone. Well, what I read and what I didn't. Some of the was covered, others uncovered into makeshift that encourages reflection. What? Hopeful acolytes flock to one ecstatic figure or another, raving about the doctrine or that. Your new friends are one called among three, the sanctified, the loose collection of souls who follow the jolly anchorite or communal, fraternal, jovial, the supralapsarians who follow the illuminating archivist, do everything by the book. When they can agree upon the interpretation, the displeased treat distrust as a virtue and betrayal as a sacrament. A woman is lying on the wheel that sits atop a pole that rises over the flotilla. She does not speak but only watches the gate. The flotilla's dwelling are made of broken boats and battered carpentry. Mists, luminous and sinuous, snake through the gaps. Voices carry the breeze, each could be just beside you or on stood on a distant deck. Here there are no echoes, and the sky swallows all songs. All sing nothing less. What do you sing of? Your voice is raw and hoarse. You are not sure there is a tune, but there is an abundance of feeling. Private torments carry on the wind, harmonizing with your own. The acolyte smiles as you kneel in front of her. A bowl of salt water is between you. You do not speak to each other, but to the water which will drown your secrets. Your eyes meet in the bowl. Her smile widens in encouragement. Confess an error of yearning. Confess an error of despair. Confess an error of sentiment. The acolyte takes your hand in hers. Her skin is wrinkled and soft. There was despair when they came to that place, but it was in error, for there the saints thrived. Look at us now without them. We follow their path, then one day we too shall be free of it. She leans in to whisper her own confession to the bowl. What will you do with the confession you've heard? The supralapsarians have elaborate rituals surrounding confessions. The other acolytes have mimicked their example to use this hour to keep or betray the confessions they recently heard. Whatever you do here may already have been done to you. You locate the person most invested in hearing the confession and reveal it. They react strongly. Gossip and recrimination ignites across the flotilla. Faces redden, arguments break out. No one seems to remember that you were the source. Speak with the displeased on behalf of Worldbody Parson. Not all the displeased accept your vellum offerings. Those that do withdraw cold corners to consider the parson's words. You do not know whether he promised betrayal or suffering or merely comradeship with the being that holds their virtues in greater sum than any human could, but a few gather their meager possessions and make ready to leave, eagerly anticipating greater disappointments. These acolytes relish abandoning their colleagues and extinguishing the few sparks of sentiment that still smolder in broken hearts. They'll see you again at the church of they who must grieve. Dine at the feast. At the end of the day, the acolytes gather for a feast. If you were cynical, you might suggest this was the only reason the sects banded together. Makeshift tables are laid with the fruits of the quiet sea. Some acolytes have spent their days on the waves fishing for whatever blind writhing things could as fish counts as fish here. Others forage for preserved food from the forgotten ships. Still others range further among engine wrecks and refuge of the bureau. Wisely rationed, there is enough for one such feast every week or so. How will you dine? Traditional decorum with gusto, with restraint. All around you, supralaparians, the sanctified, gorge themselves on hard biscuits and eel fish, stuffing their mouths with stolen wine and plundered meats. You will not partake, your stomach growls, betrayed. Fuck this place, let's go out. I guess let's close another ripple. Giving up the ghost. The damage is worse than you thought. The best you can do is to effect a makeshift repair, which is enough, barely, for the drag to finish its current task. Its arms weave sluggishly, its gears clatter. Gradually, the snarl in time is untangled. The intruding moments fall away, and you are returned to the present you left behind. or close to it at least, the jack, alas, will ravel no more. An evening frivolity. Just whatever. Aristocrat because he's been replaced by another guy. Reprieve. He gives you a lazy smile, like a cat that spotted something precious balanced precariously on a half shelf. Thank you, Captain. I shan't forget it. Was you that gave me this opportunity. The former courtier rolls her eyes in disbelief. The nun merely lights up again. An acting senior proprietor thanks you profusely before handing the aristocrat to his imperial pardon. Market of Truth. Well, I guess it's time to go anyway. Well, see you later.